Well, howdy. Alright, this is another video, Mumen Rider video. As you can see, I have my baby rocker behind us. Little Hadassah is sleeping, so I'm not going to be holding her this time. But anyway, today's ride I wanted to talk about was one Dan. Dan and I. I think he might be our youngest Mumen Rider. I'm not sure actually, but he's really good climber. He called me up. He was like, all right, let's go do this epic ride. We're going to go do this epic ride. It was late last year, 2020. Wow, we're in 2021 now. Late last year, 2020. So he called me up. He lives in North Carolina. So we met halfway. We both drove about an hour and 50 minutes, 2 hours or so-ish. We both met up to do this epic ride. It was on a Saturday morning. He had this whole route planned out and everything. He took down notes and stuff, exactly where to go. And we showed up. And we get there. We both like playing tennis. The Mumen Riders, mentioned before, we like doing life together, doing other stuff. So we both played tennis for like an hour and 10 minutes. And then it's about 10 o'clock now. And he's like, all right, let's start biking. I have some good climbs in this 80-mile route. So we'll see how long it takes us. And I'm like, dude, we're going to have to be going pretty fast if we're going to finish this in time. So we start going. We get the bikes all checked. We start going, just us two, We're just going out for an awesome, casual 80-mile ride, which just turned out to be epic. So we start going, and the first part is flat. He's like, the first part's kind of flat, so we'll get out of the way. So we're cruising on the first part. It is pretty flat. It's kind of running alongside a big highway and everything. And it was a little bit windy, not too bad. But we're not going super quickly. Yeah, we're going at a decent pace. And then finally we turn off away from the highway and we start going up to these hills and these climbs. And boy, let me tell you, some of these climbs were epic. So we hit the first climb and it's not super windy. It just kind of goes up. I forgot exactly how long it was. But we get to the top, take a quick breather, take some pictures, grab some snacks that we had stowed away with us, and it was awesome. Super good view at the top of this climb. But this one wasn't too hard. It wasn't too hard. So then we go down the other side. We get through to this town, and we start going through this town. And we're looking for this road because he has all his notes written down. So we're looking through this road to make a turn on in the town. It's a small, quaint little town. And we're not seeing the road, so we keep staying on the road we're already on. We keep going on it, and we're like, I'm not seeing the road. We're supposed to make a right onto this Randolph Drive road or something. I think it was that. And I'm like, we're not seeing it. So we stay on this road, and this road we're on, it starts to climb. And it starts to climb. And it starts to climb. And so it climbs for like 2 miles. It's pretty long. Not like super steep, but kind of up and up. Climb for like 2 miles until the road kind of dead ends into 2 dirt roads. Both of us, like one straight and one to the left. Both of us, we don't have any hybrid tires on. We only have our road tires. And we're just like, we don't really want to be doing gravel with these road tires. Especially because I have I'm running tubeless tires, so I don't have a spare tube. I can't put a spare tube in it. So I'm like, if I pop a tire, and we're 30 miles, I think at that point we were like 24 miles away. That's a long way back to our trucks and our vehicles. So I was just like, I'm not feeling it. And then this older guy in a pickup truck, he drives up next to us. I don't know why he was out there. He was like, wow, you bikers are a ways out here. I'm like, yeah, we are. Don't really know where we are either. He's like, well, if you take this dirt road to the left, it'll bring you all the way back down to here, down to this road, and then, you turn left at the river, and you turn right at the log, and then the crow flies over here, and then I'm just like, yeah, I think we're just going to turn around, and we're going to go back, because first off, it's a gravel road, second off, your directions, and so yeah, we're gonna turn around, so it was... So we turned around, and the good thing is it was all coasting downhill then. We're just touching brakes, kind of talking. We weren't booking it back downhill. There are some dogs on that road too, so when we were biking up, you're biking uphill, you're like, ah, and then some dogs run across the road at you, and you're just like, ah, and you go from like 8 miles an hour to 9.5 miles an hour, and you're like, don't bite me, dog. But it was but then coming back down, we're cruising at like 25, sometimes 30 miles an hour down these hills. So the dogs are like, whoop. They don't even get up off the porch to chase us because we're just like past them. We're like, I can't catch us now, dogs. But it was pretty great. So then we get back to the town, and we're like, okay, I think the turn might have been over here. And we found the wrong turn we made, and we realized that, okay, it actually only, the road name changed like halfway. It was like on one street, the road name was this, but then one street over, the road name was the name that we were looking for. So we found it, and it was super confusing why they would have done it like that. But we got back on the right road, and then after that, his directions, they were spot on. They were pretty much spot on the whole time, other than that one little mix-up. But then his directions were spot on the rest of the time as well. So Dan did a super good job with doing the directions and everything. So we get on the correct road, and we stay on all the correct turns from that time on. So we get going, and so we were like, okay, that was only like a 6 or 7 mile out of the way wrong turn. Not too bad, but it had that climb in it, which ate up a good bit of time. So he was like, yeah, we still have like 4 more climbs. We're supposed to have 5 climbs on this ride. Now we have 6 because of that wrong turn one we just did. So we still have 4 left. And I'm just like, oh boy, the legs. But we keep going. We get to the next climb. It's epic. It's one of those climbs that just wind back and forth up. Hairpins all the way. I'm like, I feel like we're literally on the Alpe d'Huez here, except for not as steep or as intense. Alpe d'Huez is super steep. This one only averaged between like probably 4 and 8%. Some of the hairpins though, they would spin up to like 15% because it'll hairpin up real quick and then get kind of flat again. But we're going up that, and there's this like kind of another truck. People in trucks up there for some reason. But anyway, another truck, and this guy in the truck, he looked like he was hunting or doing something up there. And he's just like, whoa, guys, that's one huge climb you guys are doing. I used a couple other words, but anyway, I was like, yeah, it's a climb. Yeah, we're feeling it. And I was a little bit ahead of Dan here. He was about 150 yards behind me because we were kind of pacing it at our own pace. And then I'd get up to a top, and I'd kind of wait for him. And then some of the climbs, we'd just pace up together the whole time. But it was epic. We got up to the top of that climb, and it had a really, really cool view at the top as well. And I took some pictures. I might have to post them somewhere. But anyway, it was super cool. So then we start going down, and on the backside, it's already starting to get late. On the backside, there's no sun. The sun was on the climbing side, which it would have been better if it were different. If no sun on the climbing side, because we're already warm and sweaty. But then we get to the backside, and there is actually no sun, and we're like, I'm freezing on the way down. I'm like, this is very, very cold. So, yikes. And then you're kind of sweaty, and your sweat's freezing to you, because it was pretty cold out. We did this in December. Beginning of December, we did this ride, so pretty cold. I'm just like, okay, we only have about 3 hours of daylight left, and we have probably, at this point, I think it was like 30 more miles. 30 more miles to do, 3 hours of daylight. I'm like, dude, hopefully we can make it, but there are 3 more climbs we still have. And it's just like, yeah, we should be able to. It's like averaging 10 miles an hour. Yeah, we should, but then we're starting to run out of snacks and everything, and Dan ran out of water. I still had an extra bottle left because I carried 3 with me. So I gave him 3/4 of that bottle of water. And so we keep going, and I'm just thinking, I don't have any like lights on my bike because I usually never bike at night because I don't like to. It's just scary, sketchy to me. I don't bike at night, so I feel like the chances of getting hit are so much higher. But anyway, which they are. But he has a light. He has a tail light on his bike, and so I'm like, if anything, I'll just get in front of him, and we'll just putty our way back in if it gets dark. So we keep going. And there are some other, like, mini climbs. I'm like, is this one of the climbs? He's like, no, I didn't count any climb which, like, isn't above 500-foot elevation gain. I'm just like, what? Those are still pretty big climbs. I'm like, dude. So, So we keep going, and we finally get to the other climbs. We climb one, we do it pretty quickly. We kind of boost our way up there. We get to another one, and this is the last one, and we're just like suffering. This is the last one, and it's getting super dark. Like it's kind of almost dusk out. But this one, we get to the top of it finally after putzing our way up, and then it's down the other side. And this time, the side going down is the sunny side, but the sun's really kind of setting. So we're getting down it, and I'm just like, all right, we shouldn't be that far away now. So we get going, and we keep going, and we keep going, and I'm just like, dude, where's the end to this? The sun sets, and we still have like, I don't know, 3 to 5 miles left. The sun sets, and it's like dark now. And I'm like, all right, Dan, I'm just pulling the whole way. Sit right on my wheel. You have the flashing brake light, so at least a car won't rear end us. And I can't get too far ahead of you, because if a car goes around you, comes back over, and I'm off the road. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I'm just sitting right on your wheel. This is sketchy. We should have left a little bit earlier, but we keep going. We finally get to town, and there are some street lights and stuff, so we're taking it slow through town and everything, and it's like, whew. So finally, I'm like, okay, we know where we are. We had to stop because at one little spot, because we kind of got lost right towards the end, and we're like, I think we're supposed to go up and do on this turn. No, go up and do this turn. So we pulled out the GPS. My phone is down to like 5%, and I'm like, I still need to get home after this drive home all the way, and it's getting dark. I'm just like, dude, this is so... It was nerve-wracking, but it was such an epic adventure. So finally, we look at the GPS, we find the right way to go, we pull in, and we made it. And it was epic, and it was awesome. And afterwards, we're both like beat, and we're just like, dude, you hungry? I'm hungry. So we head out to first get gas. We both need to get gas for the way home. And then we head out to a Japanese place. Eat some really good Japanese food. It was like Tokyo something or whatever. It was super good. Of course, everything at that point would taste amazing because we've been like going into huge calorie debt all day and just starving. You know, trying to just live off of like 5 or 6 gels and granola bars and everything. That's, you know, it's like kind of gives you some energy, but it doesn't take away hunger. So at the end of the day, you're just like, I'm so hungry. But anyway, it was an epic ride. Definitely will do it again. Dan's already setting up some more epic rides for us to do this year, so stay tuned because you're going to hear some amazing other big rides. Hopefully some of our other Mumen riders will join us and we'll have bigger group rides other than just us two. But it was still epic with just us two, let me tell you. It was still epic. It was so fun. The scenery, he picked some amazing scenery to go on. The scenery was awesome, beautiful countryside, not busy roads, all kind of back roads and everything. Yeah, they were all back roads actually. A lot of them just no lines on the road, no paint lines. It was just all back road. It was cool. So definitely would do it again. Definitely would do it again. All right. That's about all I can remember of this one. I just wanted to tell it before I forget it because these kind of things, they need to be remembered because they are epic rides that should not be forgotten and lost in time. All right. Until next time, this is the first video of 2021. Until next time, I have a couple more rides I'm going to mention coming up, so stay tuned. And you're going to hear some crazy stuff.